am so excited. We have such an awesome God. I told you I was going on a mission trip. I'm going to quickly tell you what this was all about. My friend Susan and I were going to a congregation out in Georgia. We had the whole trip planned out and everything. And then, of course, the hurricane came along and the floods came along. So we said, well, we got to call it off. But we were watching this particular program this Saturday morning a week ago. And suddenly, as we was watching, they introduced a man and his wife from another country. And immediately the Lord spoke to my heart and said, you got to hug that couple. I mean, I'm thinking, this is crazy. I got to fly all the way out to this place to hug this couple. But this was not an impulse. I have to let you know, this is not an impulse. We're foolish to follow impulses. I knew I'd heard from the Lord. So there was no way anybody could drive. So I said, if I can find a ticket out there that's no more than $400, I'll go out and I'll hug that couple. Anyway, I checked online and it cost $700 to fly out there. So one of my friends said, let me check online for you. She checked, and I said, God, if it's no more than 400 now. And when she checked online, she says, you can get a ticket for $395. Now, this means I got to fly out the next morning. You can't get a ticket like that. But she said, you got to go all the way to Miami and then fly back to Georgia. I said, Lord, you must have a divine appointment if I've got to go all the way to Miami before I can go to Atlanta. So anyway, I went the next morning. I got on the plane at 6 o'clock the next morning, and sure enough, on the way to Miami, there was a man. He was supposed to be sitting in the last seats, and instead they put him in the seat next to me. We had an awesome time. He felt like his life was at the end of the rope. He's getting ready to retire, and he said he didn't even know why he's still alive. He was in such terrible health. But by the time he got off the plane, he had hope. And I thought, God, you love that man enough to let him know there is life yet. He still had things he could do for the Lord, and he was so excited about it. Couldn't wait to tell his wife about it. Anyway, I get out there, and I don't know anybody. Never been to this congregation, didn't know anybody, but my friend Susan had given me a couple of $100, so she said for the hotel. So I got a suite in a hotel. That was not my choosing, that was God's choosing. And I'm right across, it's $90 a night, and I'm right across from the swimming pool. And I have not been in swimming in so many years, I can't count the number, but I really wanted to get in that pool. And I said, but I haven't worn a bathing suit probably 50, 60 years. So I said, well, maybe I could go to Walmart and I'll get me a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I'll go in swimming. Sure enough, I went to Walmart, got a pair of shorts for $1 and a t-shirt for $1, and I went in. I didn't swim, but I just sit on the last step. As you step down into the pool, I sit on the last step, and when I did, the water was up to my neck. I said, Lord, that's how I feel right now. The water's up to my neck. I don't know what all I'm doing here, but I know you sent me. And sure enough, we had one contact, because we knew if we contacted the office, the last day of Sukkot would be over, and that was one of the things I felt like I had to go to the last meeting of Sukkot. Anyway, to make a long story short, I went to the synagogue, I met this couple, I hugged them, and I had no idea I had a prophetic word for them. But as I began to talk, the Lord began to give me a prophetic word. I met with them again that week. They said, can we meet with you again? We had an awesome time all week long. I mean, I stayed at the hotel 3 days, and suddenly the third day, I'm thinking, okay, I guess I just keep staying here. Nothing else has opened up. But instead, the Lord said, I want you to go to the congregation and pray every day from 10 o'clock till 3:30. So I said, okay. Well, one woman had said, you know, I could come to her place. And so the next morning, I said, okay, I'm going to your place. And Nancy is just an awesome hostess. I mean, after we would pray, we'd go out to eat. We had fellowship. She introduced me to everybody. I've never had such a delightful time where people ministered to me and I got to minister to people. It was just one of those glorious experiences. And even one of the times, Nancy said, I've got a book I think you would like to read, and the name of the book is Guard Your Heart. I said, I just posted on my Facebook just a week or so ago, Women Guard Your Heart. And then she showed me the book, and it's all about husbands and wives, and I'm thinking, this don't mean nothing to me. But boy, there was a couple of chapters in there hit me full blast. I said, oh God, how naive, how foolish I've been. And I was really beating myself up for being so naive after reading those 2 chapters. And then we went to the congregation, and people had awesome words for me. And when I'd gone out to Nancy's car, there was a leaf had fallen on the hood of her car, and it was in the shape of a heart. The Lord just comforted me. He encouraged me. And then I got to do the same for other people. And by the time I got ready to go, I did meet one other woman, and her name was Joanna. That happens to be my daughter's name, so it was really neat that I met her. And we talked a few minutes, and then she handed me a check for $330. That covered all the hotel and a good part of the flight. And then I stayed with Nancy. We just had an awesome time. Then when Nancy sent me off, there was an envelope in there, and here's another $300. The bottom line is that trip cost me absolutely nothing except a joyous, wonderful time of fellowship. They ministered to me, I ministered to them. But we're on the way to the airport, and I'm thinking, this is it. That was so great. And I met this young girl. I can't even remember her name now, but she'll know because she's on Facebook with me. She was physically disabled due to something that happened back, I think it was February this year. We just connected. I just wanted to put that girl in my suitcase and take her home with me. She was so precious, and we agreed one of these times God's going to restore her, and we are going on mission trips together. It just was an outstanding trip, and I had to share it with you. God bless you. Who knows? I might have another trip tomorrow. I would go around the world to hug one person if the Lord told me. He just didn't let me know that it was a lot more than just a hug. It was an awesome experience with the children of God. He ministered to me, and I was able to minister to them. God bless you. Talk to you later. Again, remember the time for listening. We still listen, but now it's to add obey. Don't obey impulse, but if you hear God, don't fail to obey.